Hi, I'm Samantha Lee Wright. I'm the creator of this free oil course, and I'm also the host of the Essential Oil Revolution podcast. And I've been using essential oils for over 5 years now. The reason that I really wanted to create this course was because since essential oils have been introduced to me, they have completely changed my relationship to natural remedies, natural wellness, and toxin-free living in general. Before I was introduced to essential oils, I used to think that natural tools and toxin-free living was so complicated and inaccessible. I found it really confusing, and at the end of the day, it was just too much for me to try. I had just become a mom of 2 small kids, and I really wanted to raise them as healthy as possible, but I thought that without some sort of degree or certification that I wouldn't be able to really use those complicated tools like essential oils. When I started poking around the internet too, I came across all sorts of scary sounding blog posts and things about how essential oils were dangerous or too potent and all these things, and it almost scared me off to using essential oils in general. But luckily I had a friend that introduced them to me in a way that made them so simple and so easy. And as soon as I actually just opened a bottle, started smelling them, started using them and experimenting with them, I fell in love with them so quickly. I had never found a tool, a natural tool that worked so easily and so quickly and was just so accessible that I really started using them in every aspect of my life. I became a little obsessed with learning about everything I could about essential oils, and that's what led me to create my podcast that I still run to this day. So I wanted to create this course because there's so much misinformation out there about essential oils, and it really scares people off from using them. But really, these tools are so easy and so accessible for anyone, even the newest of users, to start using in a way that's safe and that's effective. All you need are a few simple guidelines. So if you're watching this course and you got here because you put your email address into the little form and it brought you to this video, then in that first email that I sent you, you should receive a quick start guide ebook as well. This is a super Cliff Notes kind of version of this course. There's a ton you're gonna learn in these videos that's not in that guide. But if you ever need a quick refresher or you need an even quicker guide to getting started, then you can print that out or read it on your phone or your tablet, and you can get started really easily that way. Also, at any point during this course, if you want to check out the essential oils that I use for me and my family, you can find information about getting started with those oils just below this video. All right, let's get started with lesson 1. What are essential oils? Well, back in the day, back before modern medicine, humans only had plants to rely on. They only had nature to rely on to stay well. And that's because the natural world around us contains the same carbon-based makeup that we do, making plants and their derived remedies, such as essential oils, a much more bioavailable option for our bodies. Our bodies welcome in these substances readily, and our bodies know what to do with them. We know how to process them, we know how to excrete them. And this is unlike synthetic pharmaceuticals, which our bodies oftentimes just don't know what to do with. We have a hard time processing them, sometimes causing side effects, or they get stored away as toxins in our fat cells or even our brains. So let's talk about, where do essential oils come from? Well, they all come from plants. They are what a plant uses to protect itself from predators, heal itself from cuts and bruises, protect itself from bacteria, insects, fungi, and they also play an important role in pollination as well. So they can be found in plant leaves, they can come from the flowers, the petals, the stems, the resin, or the roots of a plant, and they can be extracted through cold pressing, resin tapping, or what's the most commonly used, steam distillation. Now, what happens during these extraction processes is that essential oil molecules get really concentrated, making them and the resulting product of an essential oil extremely potent and aromatically intense. They just have a very strong aroma. Now, essential oils are nothing new. For centuries, humans have used these oils for their health, wellness, and in cosmetics and so many other situations. Now, historically, essential oils are the oldest known form of medicine, dating back to 4500 BC. Interesting, in 1922, there were some scientists that went in and discovered some old barrels of frankincense oil in King Tut's tomb. And when they opened them and studied them, they actually found that most of the chemical constituents were still intact. There are over 14,000 references to essential oils in the National Library of Medicine, which you can go look up on pubmed.gov if you ever want to get kind of nerdy and look at just how many studies are out there on essential oils. There's thousands and thousands of scientists really looking at what these powerful substances can do. Now, let's talk about the difference between an essential oil and a carrier oil. Now, we use carrier oils alongside essential oils to spread them over larger areas or to put them on our skin in a way that it won't react and it dilutes them down. So carrier oils are things like olive oil, coconut oil, jojoba oil, apricot oil. They're the kind of greasier, oily based parts of, and they do come from plants, but not the aromatic side of an essential oil. So an essential oil is going to evaporate out of the air, while as a carrier oil does not. A carrier oil has a shorter shelf life than an essential oil. So I always caution people, don't go mixing up like a gallon of your favorite muscle rub because that carrier oil is eventually going to go rancid, whereas an essential oil never goes bad so long as you're storing it properly away from direct sunlight and without overexposure to oxygen, so keeping those lids on really tight. My favorite carrier oils are coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, which is the liquefied form of coconut oil, apricot oil, and jojoba oil. So as you can see, essential oils are so much more than just pleasant scents and good aromas. They contain complex chemical constituents that carry with them a vast array of therapeutic benefit. During inhalation, for example, the odor molecules of an essential oil are going to travel through your nose and affect the brain through a variety of receptor sites in your nose, one of which is the limbic system. So the receptor sites in our nose are directly connected to the limbic system, which is the emotional part of our brain. So that connection can cause all sorts of reactions in your body, such as help control your heart rate, your blood pressure, breathing, memory, stress levels, hormone balance. And this relationship explains why smells can often trigger different emotions. And knowing this, we can see why inhaling essential oils and just smelling them can have very profound psychological and physiological effects on our body. Another really cool thing about essential oils is that they are one of the only known substances out there that can cross what's called the blood-brain barrier. There's like a barrier in your brain that doesn't allow molecules to enter through it because we don't want crazy different chemicals and molecules getting into our brain, right? So this is actually one of the problems that scientists are having these days with treating things like Alzheimer's and memory-related issues, because it's really hard to create pharmaceuticals that can pass through the blood-brain barrier and affect that part of our brain. But because essential oil molecules are so small, they're very, very small compared to a lot of other substances out there, and because they are completely natural and our bodies, they're very bioavailable to our bodies, they can actually pass through that blood-brain barrier and affect parts of our brain in all of these positive, profound ways. It's really cool. Now, not only do essential oils help balance our emotions, lower stress, uplift your mood, but they also have tons of physical benefits as well. They're beneficial to our skin. Things like lavender, frankincense, geranium, these things are great for our skin. Oils can affect our joints and our muscles. They can increase our body's natural response to inflammation, and they can act intelligently when interacting with germs, bacteria, and viruses without disrupting your body's natural microbiome. It's really cool. We'll talk a lot more about the how to use essential oils in the next lesson. But first, let's talk about some really important safety tips to beware of when first starting out using essential oils. First off, if you are brand new to oils, it's very important to start slowly. There is the possibility when you're first using essential oils that these substances are going to go into your body and start to stir up a lot of stuff, a lot of toxins that might be there. And when that stuff gets stirred up, your body's going to want to get rid of it as fast as possible. So this can often result in people feeling just a little bit sick, or possibly breaking out in some sort of rash, or having tummy troubles when they're first getting started, maybe a headache. This is completely natural and it's safe. It doesn't mean that these oils are bad for you. It just means that they're stirring some stuff up. So you need to slow down, and very importantly, you need to drink lots of water. So when you first get your oils, I know you're going to be so excited to start using them that you're going to use, 10 drops in your diffuser, and you're going to be slathering yourself in oils all the time. Just take it really slow. Use 1 drop at a time, like, maybe 1 to 4 drops total in a whole day for like your first week, and then build up from there, because I just don't want you to have those detox reactions that can happen when you go too fast and you use too much oil. Another safety tip is that if you have any serious medical conditions, consult with your physician first before starting out using oils. We don't know how essential oils might react to all the different kinds of diseases and conditions out there, so it's best to check with your doctor first. If they don't know anything about essential oils, then I just caution you to go really, really slowly and tune into your body to feel how these oils are reacting to your system. Now, the third safety tip to be aware of is if you have any small pets in your house, especially cats or small dogs or birds, we want to be mindful of how we're using essential oils around them. Now, the quick start guide that you can download just below this video has a great little cheat sheet for which oils you should totally avoid around cats, and a little more detail surrounding them especially. Cats have a certain lack of a molecule in their body called glutathione that helps them actually detox essential oil molecules. So if you use too much around cats, it starts to build up in their system too much, and it's not good for their livers. So we want to be mindful of that. There are tons of essential oils that are completely safe to use around cats and other small animals. We just want to be mindful and go slow. And most importantly, we always want to give our small animals an opportunity to leave the room. So if you have, let's say, a cat in a room or a bird in a cage, you wouldn't want to diffuse essential oils in that space if that animal doesn't have the opportunity to leave. I find that animals are very intuitive, and if something is not good for them, they tend to leave. They tend to bolt pretty quickly. So long as they have that option, and you go low and go slow and avoid using some of the oils on the list that you'll find in the quick start guide, you should be all set. And you can still use essential oils safely. I know tons of oil users that use oils all the time on their pets, and their pets love them and they get so much benefit from them. We just want to be smart about it. Another safety tip, we never want to put essential oils directly onto our eyes or in our ear canals. If you get essential oils into your eyes, it's going to burn, it's going to be really uncomfortable. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. If this ever does happen to you, the quickest way to remedy it is to grab yourself a carrier oil such as coconut oil or olive oil and rub that into your eyes. That is what's going to get that essential oil out of your eye. Don't use water, or it's just going to drive it in even further. Now, don't put it in your ear canal. They're just too strong, too potent for that. So if you're trying to use essential oils around anything for your ears, it's best to just rub the essential oil around your ears or behind your ear, or you can soak that oil in a cotton ball, or soak a cotton ball in that oil and place that cotton ball at the edge of your ear as well. Now, if you are pregnant or you are using essential oils around small kids, you want to use some caution there as well. Now, you can use essential oils on kids and during pregnancy, birth, breastfeeding, postpartum. I've used oils during all of those situations. You just want to be more mindful about how you're going about it. With small kids, we always want to dilute heavily. The proper dilution for a child is about 1 drop of essential oil to 1 tablespoon of carrier oil. And an adult, my rule of thumb is 1 drop of essential oil to about every half a teaspoon of carrier oil. And so for small children, we want to avoid certain essential oils, and the same goes for in pregnancy. If you obtained this free oil course through giving me your email and opting into that form there, you're gonna get an email in a few days that has a quick cheat sheet for using essential oils in pregnancy. So just keep an eye on your email for that if you wanna learn more about using essential oils safely in pregnancy. Now, if you have any sort of medical condition or you're on some sort of pharmaceutical drug, just be aware that essential oils can interact with certain drugs. Same way as you might want to avoid drinking grapefruit juice when you're on some sort of cholesterol medication. We don't know all of the ways that all the essential oils can interact with all the therapeutic drugs out there. So that's just something you need to be aware of and approach very cautiously and very slowly. Now, some oils out there should not be ingested, and we're going to talk more about that in the next lesson. So always check the bottle that you're buying and make sure that it doesn't say do not ingest or has a childproof lid on it, and that'll give you a clue as to whether or not that can be ingested or not. Now, when you're ingesting really potent oils like oregano oil or cinnamon, and you're taking them in kind of high doses, like I consider a high dose anything more than 10 drops a day, you never want to do that for more than about 2 weeks at a time. And this is the same goes for any sort of medication that you're taking in high. You need to give yourself a break, okay? Now, some oils are photosensitive and may cause a rash if exposed to direct sunlight within 12 to 24 hours after application. So just be aware of what those oils are. It's mostly the citrus oils, lemon, orange, tangerine, grapefruit, bergamot, and if you're using a blend, if that blend has a high amount of citrus oil in it, it could cause a photosynthetic reaction as well. So avoid going out into direct sunlight after applying citrus oils to your skin. Now, the last safety tip that I want to talk about is the important understanding of adulteration. Adulteration is rampant in the essential oil industry, unfortunately. The vast majority of essential oils on the market today are adulterated, engineered, or extended with the use of synthetic chemicals. It's extremely easy to engineer a scent by imitating just one main constituent of an essential oil using petroleum-derived chemicals in a laboratory. But it's impossible to copy the entire package of complex constituents in one oil. A therapeutic grade essential oil may have hundreds of constituents that are synergistically working alongside each other to give that big therapeutic benefit. And it's impossible for a chemist to copy all that. The sad truth, however, is that because there are very few laws regulating the labeling of an essential oil product, any company, no matter how they go about making or obtaining their essential oil, can label their product as, quote, 100% therapeutic grade essential oil. And there's no regulatory agency that's going to come and check that claim to be true or not. It just doesn't exist. In today's marketplace, approximately 96% of essential oils are adulterated or synthesized. Let's look at lavender, for example. So research shows that there's nearly 100 times more lavender being exported or sold today than is actually being grown. So what does that mean? It means that essential oils sold in most stores, whether that be online or just at your local grocery store, are being diluted or completely manufactured using synthetic chemicals and then falsely marketed to us as pure, organic, natural, or therapeutic grade essential oils, when really these unregulated terms don't hold any real truth. Yes, even the oils at your health food store are likely to be partially cut with synthetic fragrance or some sort of carrier oil, or not be manufactured specifically for therapeutic use. When it comes to essential oil safety and efficacy, yes, brand choice matters a lot. It breaks my heart when I hear people say that they've tried essential oils and they didn't work for them, because it's usually the case that they, went down to their health food store, bought some oils off the rack, started using them and they didn't get any benefit. Or worse, they actually had harm done to them because they used a really low quality essential oil. They got 0 results, and they might have had a rash or something as well. So now they're going around telling people, oh, essential oils don't work and they're dangerous. They gave me this rash. But the truth is, what they tried might have been labeled as an essential oil, but in truth it contained maybe no actual plant extract in it at all. So it can be really difficult to know who to trust or where to buy from when it comes to getting a high quality essential oil. Now, I say this not to try to sell you on the oils that I'm using or I recommend. I just truly want you to find an essential oil that's going to give you results. I don't want you wasting your time, wasting your money on subpar oils that aren't going to work, or worse, are going to harm your health. So do your research. Find a company that you can trust and choose those oils for yourself and your family. Next up in lesson 2, we're going to talk all about the how of essential oils, and I'll walk you through the main ways that you can apply them and use them and get their amazing plant extract into your everyday life. If you found this lesson to be helpful, comment below and tell us what your big takeaways were, and don't forget to share freeoilcourse.com with your friends. I'll see you guys in the next video.